first and foremost, how do you improve quickly? So this is a question that I often get asked, and there is a simple answer, or a simple answer that I have for that. And the way you improve, geez, I just noticed that my Free Sky logo is all screwed up. Geez, thanks Free Sky. So the way I think is the easiest way to improve quickly is to fly the same quad all the time and not change anything. I mean, keep your tune the same, keep your PIDs the same, keep everything the same. If it breaks, put it back together the same way. I don't care if your quad is crappy, I don't care if it's good, I don't care if your tune is bad, your tune is good. I've seen really good pilots win races with complete trashed quads. I mean, if I picked up the quad and tried to fly, I could not fly it. And the reason they were able to fly it is because that's what they're used to and that's what they know, and they know how to fly that trash quad. And that is absolutely true. One of the top pilots in the world just recently started flying good quads. So the best way to improve is not to change anything. You will get used to it, you will learn on it, because your environment is not changing, your fingers will adapt, and no matter what it is, you will adapt to it. So once you get to that good level of skill and you want to improve further, you start looking at other videos, namely Johnny Share, and wonder, gee, how on earth are they doing that when I swear I'm doing the same thing? How is it that much smoother? What is he doing? That's literally what I think every single time I watch one of his videos. I just do not understand. Every time I fly, I wonder how on earth he is so smooth. Okay, so there are a couple of tricks that I do to try and make myself look smoother than I am, because I actually don't get a lot of experience. I don't have enough time to fly. I wish I did, but I don't. So the first move is my rolls and flips. I don't really do a lot of rolls and flips. My flip rates and roll rates are really low. I like them low because I like to have a kind of mushy stick and have a lot of resolution across the whole stick movement. So when you do a flip or a roll or any kind of movement of that sort, don't ever move the stick back to the center. Don't let go of the stick, obviously. If you let go of the stick, the quad's gonna wobble in the air. That's obviously not good. Just don't do a flip and try to move it back to the center, because you'll miss the center. It's really hard to get it, perfectly centered. It's just really tough to get it just stuck right in the center. Of course you can do it, it's not impossible, but it's much easier to do the roll and then hold it just off center, just so you're a little bit off center. And what that does is, first of all, it lets you do the move and then complete the move slower, so you actually see what's happening. And you don't go through that middle anymore. You don't transition into that middle and just get that wobble in the middle to try and center it. So I know that's one thing. I mean, flips, rolls, all things, y'all, everything. Just don't go back to the center. Practice not being in the center. It's a very important thing. And you'll notice when you're in the center, you can feel the notches of moving from positive to negative roll, a pitch, or positive to negative roll. It's that little middle part is what makes us really jerky. But we need that because we need to know where the center is on the stick. So it's very important to have that little neutral position. So that's one thing. When you do a move, don't go back to center. 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 That's just something that's ingrained in how I fly. It's almost hard for me to go to center. So I know it's more of an advanced move to sometimes you got to make a right turn and a left turn, and you got to transition through the center, and that's very difficult to do as well. That's something that just comes with time, going back and forth, and also opposite directions. Doing these moves with the transition it just takes experience. You will get that. Just continue flying, you will get it. Okay, so now the next move. The next move is learning how to kind of skate through the air. I mean, I've had a couple people lately ask me why people are always kind of moving side to side. They're never just flying straight. And I do that too. I almost never fly straight. I never have my stick centered. It's always somewhere off to the side, because when you're skating around, first of all, the skate, you're skating around because you don't know when you're going to have to make a quick move. And when you are skating, when you are holding the sticks just a little bit off to the side, then when you do these minor adjustments, first of all, you're not moving through the center and you're not pulling it off the center stick, so you're not getting that jerkiness of going from straight level flight to just the jerk of moving it sideways. But when you do these fine movements, you have more control over the fine movements, and it doesn't show up so much in your video feed because you're not moving from center, because you're already in a motion, you're already in a movement, so it looks smooth, it appears like it's smoother. very important. That skating from side to side is very, it looks great. It even looks good too. I mean, always having the camera moving slowly in some direction looks nice, looks very appealing. And then when you are skating, you're making these skate moves before you actually need to turn. So you might start skating to the left, but you don't actually need to turn left for another 60 feet because you see that tree coming. So you'll skate left, and then as the tree comes, then you'll go around it. You skate right, and then as the obstacle comes, you'll then go around it, or up and down also. You just skate side to side, and that just helps smooth things out. So when I started flying, I didn't understand how people could even fly the quad in a direction. It felt so hard for me to actually guide the quad in a direction. And I figured, oh, well, I just gotta will the direction that I want to go in, and it will hopefully follow my fingers. That's not totally the case. Now, 2 years later, I have much more control of the quad, and I actually can point it in the direction I want to go to. So I know it feels like you're out of control when you start flying, but I promise it will feel in control at some point in time. Alright, so the very last thing that I'm going to explain is a little advanced, and again, it's ingrained in how I fly. It's hard for me to undo it. I'm going to show it in video, but it's really hard for me to show in video because it's like deliberately thinking about going downstairs. It's very hard to deliberately think what you're doing going from step to step down the stairs. It's this move. It's actually the coordinated, so if you've got to already have been flying for a while to even understand this. It's a coordinated roll. And so sometimes you'll watch people fly and it looks like they're flying a plane. It doesn't look like they're flying a quad. Like when you go straight in a quad and then you turn right, it looks distinctly like a quad. And then when you stop and turn left, the camera kind of flops side to side because we're not flying with a straight camera angle. We're flying with a tilted camera angle, and when you're tilted and you roll, the camera kind of flops side to side. So this next move is to battle that flopping of the camera, and the way you do that, the coordinated roll, is to pull the sticks opposite directions. Now you got to have your yaw tuned with your roll in order to make it easy for you to do and consistent, but basically you just pull the sticks in opposite directions or push them in opposite directions, and that's what keeps the quad keeps the camera at least centered as you do a roll. I did an extensive video about yaw on this already. I'm going to link it in the description below because I still think it's very relevant and very useful. But basically, when you're going around turns and you're flying around, so very hard to explain, and I haven't shown my sticks in any of these videos because I don't think they're useful. I think it's really hard to watch the sticks and keep an eye on the video at the same time and see what's going on. But when you're coming, so let's say you're going through a turn. You're going through a turn, instead of transitioning through the center like that, you transition your yaw first. So now you're in the opposite stick movement. So now you're rolling to the left, to the left, and then you move the roll stick. So you go again, move the yaw first, and then move the roll stick. So by doing that, it makes you look like you're flying a plane. It makes it look much more plane-like. And you don't get this bobbing of the camera, and you don't get this flopping of the camera at all, and it just makes it look much, much smoother. And like I said, when I fly, this is what I do. It's just ingrained in how I fly. So even in the video when I'm trying not to do it, I'm still doing it because I can't undo it. It's just the way my fingers move. It all just becomes natural. The more you do it, the stuff just becomes natural. And yeah, that's it. You just get smooth over time. But I think those are things that I still think about and do, is the skate and the movement, and not bring it back to center stick. That I think is a very, very important move. And then try to relax. That's all. Relax and fly and just have fun. And don't forget to floss too, because that's very important. Floss between batteries. That's good.